From the Holiday Ice Arena, it's Gloucester Catholic's final home game of the Gordon Conference National slate. They've still got plenty of games on the road, but today it's the Pope John Lions who lead the Gordon National versus the Gloucester Catholic Rams. Hello, everybody. I'm Dan Wilkins. This is going to be a fun one tonight as Pope John 7-2-3. They've got more ties than they do losses. They come into Gloucester Catholic after beating them 7-4 on Pope John's home rink. And, of course, Pope John, they lead with the overall record, but Seton Hall Prep has had a fun three-game winning streak to skyrocket themselves into the top of the card for the Gordon National this season. The Gordon National hasn't really had a clear-cut favorite. Pope John led early, and then now Seton Hall Prep has come in from behind and taken that number one spot. Bergen Catholics held around the middle of the pack, and Gloucester Catholic and St. Peter's Prep have been trying to find their way. Gloucester Catholic's best games this year have come against St. Peter's, beating them handily twice. But never is an easy time for Gloucester Catholic. There's never been an easy time for Gloucester Catholic. It's always been tough and physical, day in and day out. And with this being their last home conference game, they play Haverford of Pennsylvania on the Monday the 26th. But it's still going to be a 6-day break after today. They still have a few more road games ahead. They play Princeton Day on the 29th, the Hun School on the 25th, and Marlborough of the Shore Conference, a public school, early in the month of February. But for Gloucester Catholic, this has been a year of resilience as, again, they're just 2 years removed from an 0-11 season. Last year wasn't really what they wanted, but this year's a step in the right direction. Every win is a celebration, every loss is a turning point, and every loss is a learning moment. But for Gloucester Catholic, they're wearing their home cream jerseys today, and they're going to look to give Pope John a lot to handle. But Pope John, they've got two very strong forwards leading the way. They've got Cameron Guerra with 10 goals on the season, and Hunter Perillo, the senior forward, with 13 goals on the season. Not to mention another third forward, Nicholas Cotatrella, who has 7. Pope John scored 49 goals this year, but again, they've tied 3 times. They tied St. John Vianney, Oratory Prep, and Northern Highlands. But they have won or tied their last 5 matches. They beat Gloucester Catholic back on January the 7th. Then they beat Xavier of New York, Seton Hall Prep, tied versus Northern Highlands, and then beat Notre Dame 9-2. So their last loss was to Bergen Catholic all the way back on January the 5th. There's a lot to like about this Pope John team. Ryan Brown, he coaches a tight ship, and Mike Geary and these two are going to have a bit of fun tonight here on this Tuesday afternoon from the Holiday Ice Arena. And for our viewers at home, we do have 2 games today. Not here, but we have a hockey match, and then we have a basketball game over in Haddon Township between Audubon and the Haddon Township Hawks in Colonial Conference play. I won't be on the call for the second game. Our good friend Colin Morris and Chase Parson will be on the call for that one. But it's going to be a fun one as it's Pope John versus Gloucester Catholic, the finale of Gordon Conference home play for the Rams, coming up right after this. Starting lineups were just announced. The national anthem was just played here from the Hollydale Ice Arena. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by David Cohen of Rowan University, as we've got the last scheduled Gordon Conference home game and the last Gordon National Divisional home game for the Gloucester Catholic Rams as they face the former top dogs in the division, now number 2 in Pope John. 7-2-3 for the Lions. Last time we saw Pope John play was back on April 21st, 2024 in a baseball game versus Donovan Catholic. And, of course, for Gloucester Catholic, this is our 8th out of 9 scheduled home games this season for the Rams. So we're going to get ready to go. Center face-off as Cole Burns will be in the middle of it for the Rams. And Nicholas Colatrella will be in the middle of it for Pope John. Pope John in their visiting navy blue jerseys with white helmets. Gloucester Catholic in their home alternate cream jerseys and maroon numbers and lettering. We're underway as Richie Geiser immediately picks up a save. A quick shot by Alex Mizak. No ice. They keep this one rolling. David and I were joking this afternoon that it might actually be warmer inside the ice arena than it is outside. Luckily, we don't have to worry about the outdoor conditions until mid-February when we visit Rutgers Camden. But moving around is Buranov and Pastor. Now moving into the first blue line. Gloucester Catholic's biggest struggle this year has been turnovers in the neutral zone before they can even get to the goalie. And how about that? How about a goal right away? Just 40 seconds into the ball game. It's a goal for the Rams. Scored by number 33, Afonso Kislik. Rams lead at 1-0. No better way to get it started than a leadoff goal. That's just the second offensive possession the Rams had, and they immediately capitalized on it. They pounced on it quick. Kislik, the junior defenseman, his 7th goal of the year, his 10th point. His first goal since January the 9th versus St. Peter's Prep in a 5-1 win. As this one continues to move past the Lions. Got past Michael Perry, the sophomore that time. Buranov moves in. Good move to turn this one over, but the shot gets blocked by Guerra, or from Guerra. Now rips behind. Geiser in goal, man down. And Buranov picks up the slack. Sends this one. Lost the puck for a second there. Again, they're just trying to catch Pope John off guard. A game that they lost 7-4 when the Lions played the Rams back on January the 7th. Feels like a long time ago, but this month of January has been awfully slow. It was only 2 weeks ago. It's now moving over the middle in front of the blue line. Here comes the shot. Slap shot off the backhand, and it didn't go, but a good attempt by Guerra that time. Now the Rams continue to hang on to this one. Here goes another shot from way downtown by Guerra. Tried to get one last hurrah in before the shift change. He'll come off, and they'll sub him for Colatrella. The senior forward, we mentioned him briefly in the open. He's got 7 goals this year. That one is a little bit wide that time from Colatrella. 26 career goals for the senior. He has scored in all 4 years of his career at Pope John. 2 goals as a freshman, 6 as a sophomore, a career high 11 as a junior, and now 7 this year. But Pope John and company still have several weeks for him to break that number. Had 2 goals in his most recent game, a 9-2 victory over the Notre Dame school of Mercer County, which plays in the CVC conference. This one gets tipped back out to Perillo, the leading scorer, and it's saved by Richie Geiser. But Gloucester Catholic versus one of the top dogs in the Gordon National, looking pretty darn good to start. They've been looking a lot more sound and composed on the offensive possessions, and they've been holding their own on the defensive possessions. And sure, it could break down at any point, but right now Gloucester Catholic making a good impression in the first 3 minutes. This one goes back out to the Rams. Moving this one up is Kislik, who picked up the goal just 42 seconds into this one, hits it high off the glass. Getting squished that time is the freshman Doyle. Michael Regan, the freshman, in the middle of it. On the right side. Slap shot. Saved. A nice stop by the stick of Geiser. This one gets tipped up, almost went into the Gloucester Catholic bench. It continues to roll. Geiser stops it with the stick. And ready to catch it is number 17, Perillo. Good move. Over the middle for Pastor. No good that time. ran out of room that time as he went past the face-off circles, went a little bit too far. Back over to Pope John, who turns it over. It's back to Perry. A man down for the Lions is trying to get up is Marcel Buki. Kislik trying to make some more innovative stick work. Tries to get it on a coast-to-coast shot. It doesn't go. It's back to Burns, who turns it over. Back to Cameron Guerra, and Niederman takes this one at center ice. Another man down. We're looking on a delayed penalty here. They'll empty the net, and we will have a penalty as Richie Geyser got 1 foot out the door before the delayed penalty expired. It's going to be tripping, and it will be a power play for the Rams as Marcel Buki gets called for 2 minutes. 11-11 in the first. Make a wish, folks. It's a power play for Gloucester Catholic. And already a 1-0 lead. And again, the good things keep on coming here in this first 5 minutes. It hasn't been all that perfect for sure, but they've held Pope John off here early. The last thing you want, though, is a repeat of your season opener where you played so well versus Princeton Day, which right now is 2-10 at the bottom of the Gordon American Division. But they lost that game 7-5, and again, a game that could be chalked up to early season jitters, a game that really was one that Gloucester Catholic eerily regrets. They were up 4-1, even had a Michigan goal in the third period, but gave up 6 goals in 6 minutes, including a hat trick to seal their fate with a final score of 7-5. Here comes a slap shot. Buranov tipped up, couldn't go. Burns gets it down. Kislik with another shot, hits off the face mask of Pope John's goalkeeper. And that one got stopped. Anthony Canetta able to make that one. Canetta had his first game this season without a start in the 9-2 win over Notre Dame. Did not appear in that one. Instead, his backup, junior Mason Giordano, did instead. But Canetta, the senior, a 91.8 save percentage. And that's one of the reasons why Pope John is so good, is that elite goaltending from Anthony Canetta. Just under 700 career saves, so he's probably going to reach that mark tonight. He might have just reached that mark right now as Gloucester Catholic trying to wrestle away Pope John. 1:05 left in the power play. 10:16 left in the first. Canetta has allowed 18 goals this year, which is a stark contrast to 43 that he allowed a year ago. He actually, interestingly enough, he played in the 23-24 season, but not in the 24-25. So I'm not sure if he was injured or whatever the cause may have you, but he has allowed over 750 shots. But again, that 92% save percentage is what has made Pope John so good this year. With a 7-2-3 record, they were 14-6-1 under Ryan Brown last year in the prior season. And their goalkeeper for that year in the prior campaign was actually Mason Giordano. So they've kind of traded off positions, but Giordano got his first start of his junior year as that one skips off of Canetta, rolls back out. Pastor tips it to Kislik, keeps it on the ground. On the left wing. Oh, tried to tip that one in. Roman Motzkin would have had the goal. Pastor shoots it from the center of the blue line, and he lost it. Buranov is able to keep it, but they'll have to clear it. And again, that's one thing that Gloucester Catholic has made a lot of mistakes on, not just tonight, but throughout their entire season, is they have made a lot of mistakes in the neutral zone. Once they get in front of the blue line, they just keep tipping the puck back behind it as Buranov tries to tip it. Oh, almost lit the lamp as Afonso Kislik almost had his second. As this one continues to rip around the inner boards on the left side. It's picked up by Michael Perry, the sophomore. Here comes a break for Pope John. 2-on-1. That's a high shot. Almost hit the handful of students up in the upper loft on the right side, but the net was able to save it. And with 8:36, we'll have a stoppage here. Power play is over. We are back to full strength, but that's the one thing going for Pope John right now is that powerful penalty kill. Being able, when you're already down a goal, Niederman will get taken off the ice. GC had 6 men on for a second there. As this one goes back out, Gloucester Catholic wins the possession, and now they'll backpedal back behind Geyser. This one's brought over for a good attempt as there's a big check and we're going to have icing here as Martone got lit up. But that was a good face-off that time by Nick Colazzi, the sophomore. Was able to really get in there and really fish the puck out. And one thing that Gloucester Catholic has done well, even in the games versus opponents that are of a higher tier in the standings than them, is they've done well on the face-offs. And when they don't do well is where they really seem to make a mistake. So Gloucester Catholic should continue to stay vigilant, as there's another one right there. Saw that they lost the face-off, and then immediately Pope John rendered a shot on goal from Alex Mizak. Back out to the left wing in front of the blue line. Keeping it far out, back over to the top. Slap shot, left side, saved. On a bullet pass and a bullet shot by Hunter Perillo, the leading scorer, as, there's a bit of a tango there. Doohan got caught up in it, the sophomore, along with Mizak. Pope John has not made a whole lot of shift changes. Gloucester Catholic's probably going to have a lot more substitutions. And another stick tangle there by Colazzi and by Coldatrella. Back over to the center. Geyser with the glove save. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4, the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, 614 Lambs Road, just minutes from Route 55. 7:38 left in the first period here from the Holidell Ice Arena. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by David Cohen of Rowan University. Gloucester Catholic holds a 1-0 lead with a goal by Afanzel Kislik. Alana Bellin, she gets this one around on the inner boards. She'll pick this one up back behind. Bellin just got checked. Back over to Buranov. This one's tipped up, and it goes straight over the head of Niederman. But he's able to pick this one up, and he rips another one away. Again, that physicality of Niederman, we've seen it all year. Here comes a shot straight to the chest and saved. Cameron Guerra would have had his 11th goal of the year, but instead he's denied by the senior goalkeeper, Richie Geyser, with 7 minutes and change left in the first period. As we mentioned, this is, as of now, as of our current schedule, our second to last scheduled home game with Gloucester Catholic. We'll see them one last time on January 26th versus the Haverford School of Pennsylvania, the Fords. And a nice fish out there by Buranov. The puck went to the left of Geyser, and he needed a little extra help to get that puck out. Pope John would have had an easy game-tying goal if Buranov wasn't there. Here comes another chance. Couldn't get that one. Too much mustard on it for Nolan Doyle, the freshman. Doyle back over to Buranov. Buranov flips it to Colazzi. Colazzi in front of the blue line, tips it over. Buranov from the left wing doesn't go. Pope John's going to get a breakaway. Last man to defend him is Kislik. Gets tipped. Good stick work by Kislik to get in front of that, and it now goes back to Buranov. Buranov back over the middle. Niederman looking to meet him there. Too much traffic and a nice slide in the attempt to crouch with Jacob McCullough. Gets turned over again. Back to Alex Mizak. Icing. Offside. Excuse me. I don't know why I said icing. It's offside. Had a man too far up that time, and Pope John would have had a strong breakaway with a chance to tie this game, but instead had one man too far over the line. And we'll have a face-off from the offside circle. Back over to center ice. Again, just trying to keep pace in this game. Pope John 7-2-3. They beat Gloucester Catholic by 3 goals the last time that they met. That one gets tipped up and over, and out of play. Good crowd on hand as well over at Dunlop's. You can see over there the rooftop deck. Got some folks checking out the game. Some of those guys might be St. Augustine players. I believe they have a game later tonight, if I recall correctly. They're over in the Gordon American. We saw them in a highly touted matchup back on December the 30th. St. Augustine won that game 3-0. Wow, how about this? Getting through traffic. Cole Pastor sends him to the ground. Cole Pastor just kept getting tangled up in the traffic. He continues to get tangled up as he sends Bernstein to the ground. Another shove by Pastor, and they let bygones be bygones. They bring this one back to center ice. Turned over. Here's Colazzi trying to break it up with Perillo. Back over. Gary wanted offside. They do get the offside call. It's the second time Pope John in almost a few minutes has been called for the offside. And that's one thing that Pope John's got to keep an eye on. This is a very highly paced, fast-paced offense that is not going to give a lot of breaks to Gloucester Catholic. They're not going to, waddle behind the net. They're going to be able to, get a lot of shots off just like that right in front of the faceoff. They're a lot like the St. Peter's team that really will give you a lot to handle in the faceoff circle and immediately after the faceoff circle. Here comes a slap shot directly off the catch by Perry. And it goes back over. Geyser keeping a watchful eye. No look pass. Pastor sends him down. We've got a delayed penalty coming. Oh, he broke the stick got shattered. And this is going to be a cross-checking penalty as Pastor with a little bit of, let's just say, some no love lost there against Michael Perry. So during the delayed penalty, his stick got blown up that time. And Pastor is going to get called for cross-checking. Could probably, I could see that one coming. Felt like that was the right call. So Pope John and Gloucester Catholic will both have one power play in this period. It'll run us to 2:45 left in the first. But Gloucester Catholic holding their own versus the number 2 team in the Gordon National, 7-2-3 Pope John. They have the best record overall, but Seton Hall Prep has surpassed them in the divisional record with a strong 5-1 showing. They've won 3 straight for the Pirates. A good ricochet, and now on the power play, Pope John taking their time from Bernstein over to Perillo. Back from the end line from Perillo, back to Caldetrello. Caldetrello back in front of the blue line. They say he's on. Oh, he lost it that time. Bernstein lets it go, lets it fly, wraps around the right boards. Trying to wrestle it out is Caldetrello. And a high pass that ends up ripping around the upper half of the glass. Caldetrello tries to get it. Geyser comes in and the save. So a little bit of shoving, a little bit of talking. Would imagine that Kislik and Caldetrello are not discussing their weekend plans, but maybe they're discussing what's on your grocery list for when the 1.5 feet of snow comes on Sunday. Yeah, that could actually mess us up a little bit if the snow is too bad. If the game gets rescheduled at any point, we'll let you all know. As here comes, Geyser almost let up a goal, but instead dives in front of it and is able to save it. Here comes Niederman, catching Pope John off guard. He's got one in front of him. He shoots wide left. Almost had a goal for Niederman, would have been his second, and Gadzinski was there to accompany him, as that would have been a short-handed goal. Gloucester Catholic's had a couple of breakaways like that this year, but not many. Back over to Pope John with Perry. Little back and forth, cat and mouse. Aiden Perry and Michael Perry. And this is a good breakup here because they'll make them clear it. They've still got 2 in front of the line. They finally clear it, and Michael Perry gets it out. They'll roll this one around. Geyser back behind his net. We've got 20 seconds left on the Lions power play. Looking to advance this one. Gadzinski, the senior, fires it over, gets broken up by McCullough. Right on the front blue line. He's able to take it. They're onside. The shot misses wide right by McCullough, the senior defenseman, and Geyser picks up the save. Yeah, but like we were saying, the original projections for Sunday were going to say that we were going to get 17 inches of snow, which, if that's the case, we haven't had that much snow since January 2016. But now you look at the Apple Weather app and it says it's only going to be a foot, but a foot is still substantial. We're not talking blizzard of 96, but it's still substantial snow for the area. And I'm sure North Jersey is going to get more, as they always do. But that shot is saved. And again, we talk about that all the time. Pope John is going to get some tough shots off on the face-off. No icing as it was tipped. We go back to full strength, and a great penalty kill by Gloucester Catholic. With Pope John now at full strength, or Gloucester Catholic now at full strength. I mean, we talked about they even had a breakaway. There's another save by Geyser. Looked like that might have tipped off of his face mask on the hard shot by Caldetrello. But Caldetrello, as we mentioned, had 2 goals and an assist in the 9-2 win over Notre Dame on January the 15th. That was last Thursday. So both of these teams are in their first action since Thursday. Gloucester Catholic, as we mentioned, won't have another game until their home finale versus Haverford, as there's another save. Getting pelted with shots here. That one from Hunter Perillo, Pope John's leading scorer. He's able to bring that one with the glove. And again, back at full strength after the power play. 2:20 now left in the first period. Gloucester Catholic leads 1-0. The goal came just 42 seconds into the game from Afanzel Kislik, his 7th of the year. Pope John looking to bring this one back out. McCullough back behind the blue line, and they're going to have to clear it. I mean, Pope John, for a team that's only lost 2 games this year, they have been a little bit sloppy. They have made a lot of mistakes, especially in the neutral zone. It feels like mistakes that Gloucester Catholic would make, but right now, both of these teams playing pretty much evenly. As Richie Geiser holding his own in that. This one goes back out. No ice. Pope John deflects it back out from Anthony Canetta. Back to Marcel Buki. Icing warning, and now icing. 137, 131. Hard to tell the 7s and the 1s. The camera shows it better. We've got a light in the way of the scoreboard here at Hollydale, so the 1s could be 7s, the 7s could be 1s. You just kind of have to use context. 1-0 Rams over the Lions of Pope John. And again, for those unfamiliar with high school hockey rules, they only cut the ice once. So we'll let you know, depending on how much time they put up on the board, whether or not this will be a full intermission or just a 5-minute break. As trying to wrestle that one out, it's saved. Tried to get a little bit of a bounce shot there from Marcel Buki. And that would have been a great goal for Pope John to tie this game. Would have been a great confidence booster, but instead Richie Geiser able to field that one really cleanly and get the save. This one, oh, look out. Somebody's got to put a warning sign up there. Low clearance. Afanzel Kislik hits the roof. There's not many hockey rinks where you can hit the roof with this low of a clearance. I would have to imagine the clearance is maybe only 15, 20 feet. Can't even be that high, if I had to guess. I'd say somewhere between 15 and 20. But we've got 1 minute left in the first period. Gloucester Catholic looking to hold on to the first period lead versus one of the top dogs in the Gordon National. Nice move. Shot. Saved right at the midsection. As able to get that one to all but close range was Roman Motzkin, who would have had his second goal of the year, hasn't scored since the 17th of December versus Don Bosco. We'll have 52.6 on the board. This one rolls around. Pope John again continuing to have a lot of great offensive possessions, but Richie Geiser has been the man standing in the way. They say onside. Moves back over, tries to slap it across, but Chad Niederman was there. There goes another shot off the right shoulder. Second chance, moves past another man in Coldetrella. That shot was by Perillo. Now it's back over to Coldetrella. Has some open space, flicks it up, couldn't get it to go. That would have been another crafty goal there from the senior, who has scored 7 as a part of a trio of strong forwards for Pope John. Another crafty shot, 10 seconds. Again, Pope John might try to win you with art. As another save by Richie Geiser. 4.5 seconds left in the first period. Gloucester Catholic with a very early goal, just 42 seconds into the ball game. So we'll have one more face-off. They'll hit it off of Geiser, and that'll be the end of the first period here in Sewell in Gloucester County. Pope John, a team that's only lost 2 games and has tied 3, is getting a bit of an even matchup with Gloucester Catholic, as an early goal by Afanzel Kislik gives the Rams a 1-0 lead. We'll take a break. We'll see how this goes in terms of the intermission. We've had mostly like 90% of the matches have the intermission between the second and the third. Pope John is staying on the ice, so I don't think they're going to cut it. But Gloucester Catholic is briefly going to go back to the locker room. One power play on each side, but a lot of defense here in Gloucester County. The Rams lead the Lions 1-0.
is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
Woo!
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Welcome back to the Holidale Ice Arena. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by David Cohen. This is the intermission report. Both teams are back on the ice for the second period as the Zamboni came out after period number 1. This period wasn't all that physical. It had a couple of shoves, had a couple of jabs, but nothing too serious. Pope John has really come out, and they've certainly surprised me in the fact that they haven't scored in this period. They're a high-powered offensive front. They've scored nearly 50 goals in a handful. Let's see, they've played 12 matches this year, and they've scored 49 goals. It's a good rate. But Gloucester Catholic has held their own defensively, and they have limited their mistakes. Whether that strategy, whether that outlook is sustainable, we don't know yet. But as it is, Pope John has held their own, and they've made themselves into a pretty equal match versus GC. The goal from Evanzel Kislik really changed the game, and as these teams get ready to go back onto the ice, we'll see if Gloucester Catholic can take this first period lead and capitalize in periods 2 and 3. We're going to take a very quick break. We're going to flip this camera back around because nets are in, goaltenders are in, and we're ready to go here at Holidale. Ready to go here from Gloucester County. Rams 1, Lions 0. We're underway. Cole Pastor with the first touch for the Rams as Buranov and Pastor will flick this one back and forth. Really, this is only the second game I can remember this year that had an intermission in between the first and the second instead of the second and the third. But it's interesting as this is a quick turnover with Kislik in the middle of it. Niederman tried to swat it down. It was no good. Really couldn't get anything on that. As now Canetta kind of getting tossed around here. Behind the back pass. Pastor gets a shove. Back in on the inner boards on the right side. Burns in the middle of it, tries to fish it out, doesn't go. It goes back to Muscello. And actually that looks like it was Aiden Perry, my apologies. Back over to middle. And another jam up right in front of the GC bench. Mike Geary obviously wanting these refs not to swallow the whistle, but we have seen 2 penalties already, one against Pope John, one against Gloucester Catholic. As this one moves coast to coast on the blue line, up off the glass. Taken in by Guerra. And now Pastor tries to get this one out. Open look for Guerra, wide up and left. That was another close one there for Cam Guerra. Another shot misses high as Pope John tries to hit that one from far out. A third chance gets blocked, and now Buranov will bring this one up. Buranov avoids the turnover as Kislik survives through traffic. Gets it over to Niederman, but the puck gets turned over, and now Pope John can give the Rams a taste of their own medicine. How about this? They keep it alive. A crouch block by Pastor, and they get the turnover. There were 2 crouch blocks on that play that were really impressive by Gloucester Catholic, and unfortunately the possession doesn't stay for too long. Although here comes Buranov, here comes Doohan, can't get it to go, and the save by Canetta. A lot of high-powered fireworks there from Pope John and GC. A lot of turnovers, even from outside the neutral zone. Gloucester Catholic and Pope John able to let it settle. Still stays 1-0, 13:04 left in the second period. 1-0 Rams. Pope John brings this one back behind their net for Noah Bernstein, a freshman forward for this team. We're going to have it icing as this one rolls around. This broadcast is brought to you by the South Jersey chapter of the National Adult Baseball Association. Top-of-the-line baseball right in your backyard. 20 teams across 4 divisions. Registration is open for the spring of 2026. Enroll in South Jersey's highest level of men's baseball at southjerseynaba.com. Face-off won by, well, really not a clear, conclusive winner, but Gloucester Catholic does keep the possession. Fires it from behind the second blue line. Tipped off the foot of Gudzinski. Pope John gets it out, hangs on to the possession, and rips it around the boards as this one, how about that? Got tipped up by Canetta, hit right off of his stick, and it hits the upper netting above the glass. We will have a light week on DWB. We are off tomorrow. We do have another game tonight. We travel to Haddon Township for a 7 o'clock tip between Audubon and Haddon Township in boys basketball. But we are off tomorrow with the exception of Episode 3 of the South Jersey Starting 9. Podcast will be at 4 p.m. as we'll preview the college baseball season, along with some news out of Delsea and some news out of the Tri-County Conference as well. We'll preview that with my co-host, David Cohen, again at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then on Thursday, as we're going to have another, one ref said icing, the other didn't, so we'll keep it going. That goes coast to coast. We've got Tri-County Big School basketball on Thursday, 6 o'clock tip-off between Timber Creek and Kingsway. I'll be on the call with Sam Goldberg, the Robert Morris alum, for that one. Now, we were originally going to have Bridgeton at Cumberland on Friday the 23rd, but instead we have been asked to move that game as that shot is just too high from Alex Mezak. We will not have a game on Friday, and instead we'll have our Warren Hills doubleheader on Saturday the 24th. Nice way to create some offensive space. A low shot by Perillo doesn't go, and it goes back to the Rams. Michael Regan is in there. Gets turned over just beyond center ice. Trying to sweep that one out is Doyle. The puck gets deflected, so its velocity will slow down, and Buranov will pick this one up. Buranov brings it past Geyser, moves coast to coast, kind of in a question mark formation as it goes back to Buranov. He gets guarded 2-on-1 here, tries to get something out, and the save by Canetta. So, yes, Saturday we'll be up in North Jersey for 2 games. Girls and boys doubleheader in basketball. It'll be Belvedere versus Warren Hills at 11 a.m. and South Hunterdon versus Warren Hills in boys for a very successful team led by Joe Bamford in the Skyland Conference at 1 p.m. 11 and 1 are the start times as that one gets tipped away immediately after the face-off. So we'll re-rack them and reset it with 11-12 left in the second period. Motzkin in on the face-off, able to get that one out. Martone was able to get in on it as well as Niederman tries to shovel him in. Pope John got put into a sandwich that time, but now here come the Lions. It's Buki over to the left side. Flips it across from Guerra to Buki. Can't get that one to fall. Pastor trying to play the middleman here as that one flicks off the outer boards. Now in front of the Pope John bench. Lines a shot. Just got tipped down. Back to Pastor. Pastor with Kislik in the middle of it. Motzkin trying to get it out. And it goes back to Kislik. He has the only goal for Gloucester Catholic as Motzkin got wiped out, got put into a spin cycle, and there's another man down, Martone, and we are going to have, I thought that we were going to have a penalty, but instead, no, Motzkin is hurt. I think from what we saw, he hit the boards and kind of got crunched on his left side and walking or skating off the ice gingerly there as Motzkin will get some help. Yeah, obviously a rough situation there, but yeah, a couple of players got hit hard, and Motzkin was one of them. So after the stoppage to attend to Motzkin, hope he's okay, but he was able to get off the ice under his own power and pretty quickly as Buranov gets tangled around, got put in a soup of sticks. Oh! Wow, big hit there. Kislik went down as a high shot from Guerra ended up being a whiff. Goes back to center ice as that gets tipped around by Marcel Buki. And now Kislik able to recover from a wipeout there. He's able to retain it behind Geyser's net. Shot, score! What a rebound, and this game is tied. Cameron Guerra, after a period and a half of inaction by the Lions, they have tied this game at 1 apiece for Guerra's 11th goal of the season. And I'll tell you, Ryan Brown and company, they continue to ride the hot hand with Cameron Guerra. Scored a hat trick in the 9-2 win over Notre Dame on Thursday. They bring that momentum here to Hollydale, and Cameron Guerra scores his 4th goal and actually his 5th goal in the last 3 games. 1-1. Under 10 minutes in the second period as, there comes another ricochet, just missed to the side. Another close call there as Perillo tried to spin it around the leading goal scorer for Pope John. You just saw the second leading goal scorer in Guerra light the lamp for the visitors. Man got sent to the ground. Back to Kolodzi. Almost lost it there. He is still dancing and prancing around the net of Geyser and behind him. Back to Burns. Got met up there. Pope John gets the turnover in a hefty offensive zone. Pastor tries to outskate him there. Lets it go. Slap shot. Tipped. Tries to get it out for Perillo. Geyser's able to save them all. And now Kolodzi has it. There's a lot of tension there on that offensive possession after a tough turnover. Shift change for Pope John. Pastor moving in, tried to wiggle the stick around him, and now another turnover. Gloucester Catholic trying to avoid falling apart here, not looking their best. He's going to try to get it in, as trying to force the puck in was Coltatrella. Came up empty, but this game is tied 1-1. Pope John and Gloucester Catholic, a game that Pope John scored 7 goals versus the Rams when the Rams were the home team in their last meeting on January the 7th. For Pope John, they've got a 3-game homestand after today. They host Seton Hall Prep on the 21st. That should be a really fun Gordon National matchup. And then St. Peter's Prep a week later on the 28th. And then Chatham on February 2nd, the public school out of North Jersey. I mean, Pope John themselves, a North Jersey school out of Sparta. And again, some just very, very tough defensive stands for Gloucester Catholic. Pope John has really been controlling the pace for the last few minutes here, leading up to and including the goal from Guerra. That one flicks around. The freshman, Michael Regan, is there, gets checked. Goes back to another freshman in Doyle, coast to coast. Burnov, ooh, offside. Just a little bit too far ahead that time, and what would have been a very valuable offensive possession for Gloucester Catholic to have gets called off. And we'll reset things with 7:57 left in the second period here from the Holiday Ice Arena. 1-1 score. Gloucester Catholic scored very early in this game. Afanzel Kislik scored 42 seconds in, and then Cameron Guerra followed 5 minutes into the second period. Regan. Oh, that one was close. Almost had a shot that time. That would have been finished off. Oh, and a wipeout there by Regan. Pope John looking to capitalize on the possession, looking to capitalize on the mistake. Back to the front blue line, tipped and just behind the net. Looked like sharing a stick that time with it was Aiden Armiger, the freshman. Moving over to the right side, Buranov slaps on the backhand. It's too high, but immediately coming off of the shift change is Martone to pick that one up in front of the door. Goes back to Coldatrella. Pope John gets the turnover. It goes back to Perillo. Perillo taking his time, coasts it in front of the blue line as Martone tipped it. Starting left wing today for Gloucester Catholic. Kislik sends it around. It goes back to Buki. Perillo back to Buki. Turned over. Here comes Chad Niederman, another starter for the Rams tonight. And offside there. Buranov again put himself too far in front of the blue line. That's the listen, they seem to come in pairs. Pope John had a stretch in about 2 or 3 minutes in the first period where they had a few offsides back-to-back. Gloucester Catholic just had another one of their own. But again, as soon as Gloucester Catholic is trying to get ahead, that offside is burying them, and we'll just see how they can rebound from it. Goes back around to Michael Perry. Got tipped around there as Geyser was able to get something out of it. Oh, he got hit hard from behind. Got a delayed penalty here, and we will. Oof. The penalty is going to be on, well, it's going to be on Pope John, and it's going to be on Marcel Buki. And Ryan Brown still giving his penalized player some words in the box. So Marcel Buki gets called for 2 minutes, and Gloucester Catholic will have a very crucial power play midway through the second period. Buranov tried to get a shot off, but it got denied. Pope John's going to look to clear it. Got tipped down by Pastor. Rolls back around on the inner boards for Burinov. Gloucester Catholic, well, no team has scored on power plays today. Pope John is 0 for 1. GC looking to avoid going 0 for 2. Because, again, in a situation like this where you're playing one of the best teams in the Gordon Conference, you don't want to have multiple penalty kills be ignored. Burinov getting into it there, back-to-back with Guerra. Almost got turned over, but they leave it stranded for Kislik. Already 40 seconds into the power play. Trying to weave through. Got a tough shot off for Kislik. Didn't go. And it goes back to Motzkin. Gets it over to Pastor. Line drive. Gets blocked. Second chance. Scores. Goal Rams. Power play. 50 seconds in. As Cole Burns takes advantage of heavy traffic and a 50-second power play. We talked about Gloucester Catholic wanting to avoid going 0 for 2 on power plays. They capitalize. And for the senior Burns, that's his first goal of the season. He's had 3 assists, his last on the 9th versus St. Peter's, but he finally picks up a goal. Gedzinski back around with the Rams up 2-1, but we are back to full strength after the goal. Yeah, scoreboard's wrong, says that there's a power play, but there's not. No icing. We keep it alive. 5 minutes, 10 seconds left in the second period here from the Hollydale Ice Arena. Kislik moving side to side, keeping his men on. 2-on-1, trapped in the corner. Given pressure by Logan Dixon. There's 4 Pope John players guarding 1 man. Now it's back to Kislik, still behind the net of Coretta. Moves back around. Oh, it got past center ice that time, but it was tipped, so no icing. We keep it alive here. 4:45, under 5 minutes to play in the second period. Doohan is there. Got turned around, and Pope John has the possession. Looking to tie this game. That one's too high, up over Geyser. On the shot taken by Bernstein. Burinov is going to try to move this one up. He's moving quickly in front of the scorer's table, in front of the bench, on the left side, on the left wing. Tries to get one, saved by Canetta, excuse me. That would have been an amazing end-to-end goal for Ilina Burinov if he scored there. Didn't pass it to anybody. He had laser vision on that goal. He just wanted it for himself there. Would have been a great insurance goal in the second for the Gloucester Catholic Rams, but instead it's a save. Gloucester Catholic still sets up favorably in the offensive zone. Goes back over. Line drive shot by Regan, no good. Pastor gets in there. He backpedals. 3-on-1 is his defense. Goes back around. Oh, he tried to dish it out, but nobody was there. That's a big turnover. Here comes Buki on the left side. He's guarded by Doyle. Gets it around Doyle, but the puck is loose, and now it goes back behind Geyser. Deflected softly off the inner boards. Gets a slap shot from downtown. Comes out. That would have been a great goal from Aiden Perry. Got another man down. We keep it going. Regan with Niederman in tow. Niederman tries to fish it out, tries to create some space. Gets a tough check. Doyle, man on the ground. Kaladze tried to take that shot. Oh, he just got leveled. Geary wanted a penalty, and there's none called. It goes back to the Rams as there was a firestorm over there as Pope John sent him out right in front of the GC bench. This one goes back out to center ice. Waiting for it. Geyser tipped it. And now everybody's going to change. Pope John. They're going to try to get this one in transition here as it's turned over for Aiden Perry. Under 3 minutes to play in the second. Niederman is there. Oh. He tried to make a baseball catch on that one right at the wall. As it goes back to Coldetrello. Got tipped up and out. Again, both of these teams, they have ramped up the physicality a whole bunch here in the second after a relatively tame first period. Now puck comes out. Open shot. Saved by Geyser. as Hunter Perillo, the scorer that he is, the elite scorer that he is, gets matched up with Geyser's glove, and will reset it with 2:29 left in the second period. A fantastic game here between two Gordon National opponents in Pope John and Gloucester Catholic. Again, this is Gloucester Catholic's last home game in the Gordon National slate. They play out-of-state opponent Haverford of Pennsylvania on Monday the 26th, and then after that, it's all road games unless one is added. Another chance to get something to go there is struggling to keep his pace, struggling to keep his footing is Cole Burns. Goes back around. They wanted an offside warning. They got the offside warning, but they were able to clear it. Burinov. Oh, got a turnover there. Although, look, he's going to meet him. Kislick's going to meet him at the other end. One hand, turns it back around. Oh, so close for Cole Burns. Didn't get it that time. And now another big check. Pope John trying to stay on their feet. Burinov will reset. This puck gets tipped out. Great defense by Perillo. Geary wants a penalty. I think everybody in this building wanted a penalty for something. Another big hit. Burinov not too thrilled. A lot of these guys are not too thrilled with each other, but they're letting it play on. Motzkin leaves the puck open. Shot, saved, up off the net, up over the net, and out of play. There's another big check there as after the whistle, another shove there. As getting into it is Perillo and Kislick. .122 left in the second period. Gloucester Catholic probably considered the underdogs in this game with a 3-8 record, leading Pope John. Alana Bellin will come onto the ice. Yeah, there was one time where Gloucester Catholic had one too many skaters for a face-off, and then there was another time where this time they didn't have enough. So Bellin comes out. Slap shot, tries to get it. Geyser reels it in. And again, this intensity is only going to continue to ramp up here. You know, we saw this in the St. Augustine game that GC played in late December, where they're going to hit a lot. That's going to happen. But, you know, once there's a goal, that really calms things down. So right now, a lot of these teams are frustrated. Both of these teams are frustrated that they're not getting in the net. They're not scoring. Pope John is frustrated that they're losing this game. So they don't want that to happen. Gloucester Catholic, though, they're frustrated about their mistakes, as there goes another nice save by Anthony Canetta, the senior goalkeeper. 1 minute and 1 second left in the second period. After the 15-minute intermission followed the first period, we'll only have a 5-minute break in between the second and the third, and then after that we'll be on our way to Haddon Township for boys basketball in the Colonial Conference. Under a minute left in the second. Another couple of big hits as the puck was loose for a lot of that, for a few seconds there. This one gets turned over. Here come the Lions. They've got an open look. Left side. Can't get it to go. The pass from Mike Perry to Cam Guerra did not go. Back to 35 seconds and offside. Aiden Perry was too far up that time. So 37 seconds left. It's the third time that Pope John has been called for offsides here in the first two periods. So it comes back out. Martone is there. Aiden Perry comes up with it. Geyser leaves the stick down and brings it to Burinov. They'll have time for probably one or two more possessions as they try to fish a shot out quickly. It's Coldetrella. Comes out with it. Martone tries to get in. Kislick with a little flick. A hold, a check. He's still holding on to him, tries to separate him. Now down to 10 seconds and a save by Canetta. As Kislick arguing his case that there was a hold there and a little bit of eye contact between Coldetrella and Kislick. Again, those two were, it looked like Kislick kind of got his sweater tangled up there, got a little bit of a hold from Coldetrella, but we've only seen one penalty in this period. Niederman will have the face-off for Gloucester Catholic with Coldetrella for the Lions. 9 seconds remaining after the save by Canetta. GC gets it out quickly, but here comes Pope John. No, it's saved. It's turned over. How about Pastor getting in there with a turned over stick? They'll run out of time, though, and at the end of the second period, an intense second period, that is, gives Gloucester Catholic a 2-1 lead. So Pope John scored with 5 minutes into the period, and then Gloucester Catholic followed soon after with the first goal of the season by Cole Burns. We'll take a 5-minute break, and after 2 here in the Hollydale Ice Arena in Sewell, New Jersey, it's Pope John 1, Gloucester Catholic 2 right after the break. 2 periods down, 1 to go here from Hollydale Ice Arena in Sewell, New Jersey, in the heart of Gloucester County. We're underway. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by David Cohen of Rowan University on this one. This is our first of 2 games today. Audubon plays Haddon Township in boys basketball later tonight at 7 p.m. So it's 4:26 right now, so we'll be on our way there once this game is over. About a 30-minute drive up to Camden County. Is looking for a slap shot there from point-blank range by Burns. We've got a sandwich. Burns got a little bit of a tug from the back and then fell over on top of Canetta. So they'll settle it. But the save stops play with 14:38 left in the third period. How about Gloucester Catholic, though? Obviously, this game is not over, and we still have 15 minutes of hockey to play to determine a winner. But for the first 66%, first 2/3 of this game, they have played quite well. And you can chalk it up to Pope John making mistakes because they have gotten themselves into penalty trouble. They've turned over the puck a lot, almost in the style of how Gloucester Catholic does it in the neutral zone. But this is a team that Pope John scored 7-4. They won 7-4 when these two teams last played earlier this month in January. But Gloucester Catholic's holding their own on their home ice and looking to win versus Pope John for the first time in a while. This will be the first time Gloucester Catholic will have beaten Pope John if they win since December 12th, 2022, when they won 7-3. And that was a season where Gloucester Catholic went 9-9-2 in the second to last year for Matthew Gaudreau before he tragically passed. Cole Pastor has this one with a long pass down the ice. Still keeping it going here. The 2 goals for the Rams are scored by Kislik and by Burns. He had his first of the year after 3 assists. Oh! Sent him to the ground there. They'll stay alive, though. That didn't even look like that much of a push, but they'll let them play. That was Dixon who got sent to the ground. Now Dixon takes a shot way downtown. Guys are unable to save it, and the goal scores. And we've got another shove after the play. We've got a penalty here after the play, after the goal. The goal was scored by Cameron Guerra, who picks up his second, but Afanzel Kislik is going to go to the penalty box for some extracurriculars after the goal. And as much as that's the right call, I'm curious where that was in the second period, because we saw that earlier and it wasn't called, but I don't know. Kislik will go into the box, and actually a Pope John player will also join him in the box. So right now, trying to figure this all out. So we'll go back to full strength. It looks like whatever those penalties were, it'll be for incidentals, and it will not draw an actual power play by either team. As Burinov brings this one up. Now they're showing 2-1 on the scoreboard, and there's a goal. Gloucester Catholic just took the lead. So Pope John tied the game, and Justin Martone gets one in after crashing the net, and it's 3-2. The only thing I'm not sure about is the scoreboard is still reading 3-2. We assume that second goal counted. So if not, the Rams extend their lead to 3-1. It goes out of play. But the referees were looking at the scoreboard. Okay, they did just change it now to 3-2. I was going to say the referees were looking at the video board while they were assessing the penalties against Pope John and Gloucester Catholic. So I assumed that they had the score correct, but it is now 3-2. So Cameron Guerra's second goal of the game ties it, and the first goal of the game for Justin Martone gives the Rams the lead. And we'll get ready for the face-off here as the referee was talking to the linesman was talking to the scorer's table. There's another little tangle around center ice. Moves back around again. This has just been a great physical game, but Gloucester Catholic up by a goal. This has been a really shocking game. in terms of what this would mean in terms of an upset. Because if Pope John loses this game and then has to go for a very tough opponent, a very hot Seton Hall prep, that's going to be a tough match as Geyser gets the save. This broadcast is brought to you by the Rowan College of South Jersey Roadrunners, the premier athletic department of community colleges in New Jersey, and also the premier community college of New Jersey with over 100 associate's degree programs available. Start your education at a fraction of the cost. The winter semester just started today, but accelerated courses are still open for registration by visiting rcsj.edu. And for athletics, rcroadrunners.com. Moves this one around for Burinov. Back behind Geyser. 12 minutes left in the third. Burinov taking his time. He's got Regan to his left, Niederman to his right. Doyle and Pastor are the other two men on the ice for the Rams. This one gets tipped around by Aiden Perry. Oh, Bellin got slammed into the bench that time. Doyle comes back around, or not Bellin, excuse me. That is Doyle. It's back to Burinov. Tipped up, knocked down by Doyle. Gets tugged around there. Pastor looking to crash the net, working through traffic. It comes out. It's back to Niederman, who's got a wide open look from downtown. Tried to shoot it over the traffic, and that didn't go. Pope John comes back to it. Getting back into their senses here as that pass just a little bit too wide gets turned over to Pastor. As Damian Slater, the sophomore, had to get turned around there to save it. Could have been a lot worse there. Aiden Perry. Back over to center ice for Cameron Guerra. Back over to the right. Saved by Geyser as Perillo hit Geyser right in the chest, and he was able to get the save in. 11:01 left in the third period. As we mentioned, our next broadcast will be at 7 o'clock tonight. Audubon and Haddon Township boys basketball. This one comes down. Perillo's going to get another shot off. He's had so many shots on goal today. That one did not go, though. Just went a little bit high and wide, and this is turned over. Burns tries to get through it, loses his footing. Comes back out for Noah Bernstein, the sophomore, and it tips off of center ice. Burinov behind both blue lines. Trading back and forth with Pastor. Moves a little bit further in. They're onside. Moving up is Burns. And taking it is the sophomore Dixon. Wow. Oh, my goodness. That was a big hit there. Both of them went down hard, but they both continue to play. Dixon moves up. Moving it back over. Tipping it out is Burinov. It's going to be a tough one. Came out for Mizak. Moving coast to coast. It hit off of the foot of Gomez. And that almost was a disastrous move right there, as now it goes back out and icing, with Dixon being the one to pick this one up. 10:01 left in the third period. But again, Gloucester Catholic has been playing exceptionally well. And again, I don't want to jinx anything. I know how the first game of the season went versus Princeton Day. With a 4-1 lead, the game collapsed. But Gloucester Catholic has held their own in this game. And in the first game, you could probably wind back the tape and say that, listen, Gloucester Catholic made a lot of mistakes in that game. Gloucester Catholic has been playing some of their best offense all day. They've been crashing the net. They've really come into this game with a different motif than they have all season, and they've taken advantage of the number 2 team in the Gordon National. We'll load in those standings in a minute, as those are our standings for our next game of the day later on tonight, as there's a slap shot missed wide. Really wasn't ready to receive as McCullough found Guerra, but too wide. Here comes another chance. Tries to slap it to tie the game. No good. It came out from Buki. Goes back to center ice. A fantastic defensive stand by the Rams. This one gets turned over again. And again, Richie Geyser has been such a star, been such a saving grace for this GC Rams team. If anybody else was in goal, the Rams wouldn't have won the games that they have this year. He has been a fantastic man in net. Oh, got slammed in front of the scorer's table. Geary really wants a penalty that time, and now heading off the ice is Kaladze. Burinov comes back on. out on the right side. I mean, they've been playing really, really leniently with the whistles on the checks. Another one back there in front of the blue line. Goes back over to McCullough. Moving back over to Burinov. This one comes out. Perillo is there. Goes up and out of play over near the stairs on the near side. 8:24 left in the third period. After tonight, tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for episode 3 of the South Jersey Starting 9 podcast. Myself and my co-host David Cohen will preview the upcoming college baseball season for South Jersey teams and South Jersey alum playing elsewhere. Along with that, we have some news out of the Tri-County Conference as well. So we'll preview all of that, and you'll be able to watch it live from DWB headquarters/studios on Tuesday the 21st at 4 p.m. And then on Thursday the 22nd, we have boys basketball in the Tri-County Conference. Two big schools going at it with impressive seasons so far, Timber Creek and Kingsway. Turning back around here for Pope John. Gets turned over. Niederman almost had it. That's too high. Good shot that time by Perillo. Just a little bit too high on that one. Oh, you could hear that one from a mile away. Here comes Dixon. Fading to the right side. He's got Perillo behind him. It goes through the legs. Another slap shot. Saved by Geyser. What a stand. Another big check. Roman Motzkin coming in hard. It comes out for the Rams, and here comes Cole Pastor. Pastor on the left side. Got a man in front of him in Bernstein. But the checks are only going to intensify. Niederman gets in there. Goes back out to Burinov. No icing. They'll slow it down a little bit, although Burinov kind of deked us. He's really going to pick this one up. He's going to try to take it himself. Now he spins back around. Feeds it to Doyle. Loses it. Turned over. Back to Pope John. Burinov gets it out. Slap shot. Too high. What a close call there as the leading scorer for the Lions, Hunter Perillo, found the roof on that one, as that was a tall task, a tall order, and it ends with a tall shot. 3-2, 7:02 left in the third. Unbelievable. Some great defense here by Gloucester Catholic in a high-intensity third period. Goes back over to Pope John. Tipped up by McCullough. Here come the Lions, looking to tie this game. They've had a lot of chances to do it. Gets tipped out with Burns, and now Kislik coming up with it. 6:30 to play. Kislik on the right side. He's got Gadzinski behind him. Tries to deke Canetta. Man down, gets slammed into the boards. Pope John gets back at it again. Oh, he lost it for the sophomore Mike Perry. Another wipeout. Ooh, that was a close call. Dangerous one there. A deep shot. Misses right of Geyser. Back to Buki. Buki turns it around. Right wing, right in front of the blue line. McCullough turns it over. Here comes Gadzinski. Here comes a breakaway. Offensive Kislik. Shoots wide right. Gets into the boards and a quick turnaround. Pope John gets it back again. Back at center ice. Turns it around. Now they've got another breakaway. 2-on-2. Shot off of Geyser's helmet and out of play. 5:47 left in the third. And a whole lot of shots. 3-2. The Rams looking for their first win versus Pope John since, again, December of 2022, back when Matty Gaudreau was the head coach of the Rams in a 9-9-2 season, the last time the Rams were 500 or better. Comes back down. Pope John has it. It's tipped, so it'll stay alive. Back to Pastor. Back over to center ice for Martone. Martone on the right side. Burinov is there. Martone tries to keep his footing with Hefty guarding by Dixon. comes out, and Perillo is there. Here come the Lions for the umpteenth time. Bernstein gets stopped, takes his time, advances in front of the blue line on the left wing. Shot is tipped. Geyser outside of the semicircle, able to get it out. Here comes Martone, flicks it up, back to center ice. Niederman tries to get there, but the Lions take it over. Back to Murillo. Over on the right side, no icing, still alive on a long possession. Man down. Pastor moving like a bull in a china shop and just missed. Ran parallel over the blue line, over in front of the goalie stripe. And now Burns gets sent to the ground while he was already on his knee. And we'll have a whistle here, a late whistle. So they'll stop the play here with 4:17 to play. And as it appears, there will be no penalty. So we'll stay at full strength here for both teams. Obviously, Gloucester Catholic would have very much wanted a power play there to try to bury the Lions. Comes back around. Tipped up. Buranov can't get it out. Whoa! Look out. That stick almost went to the second deck. But now another chance. The Rams avoid the drama with Niederman getting the shot off. Back to Aiden Perry. Pope John turns it over again. And charging in hard will be Marcel Buki. Buki can't get it to go. Puck is still loose. Tries to go with the backhand. Gets turned over to Cole Burns, who's already got a goal. He gets a pass off as he goes to the ground, and they'll send him out. Doyle trying to trap him out. Pope John's got it again, flicking it off the inner boards. Brings it back to center ice. Gathering it is Buki. Tries to drag this one around. A really fun toe drag there. Back over. He missed it. Back to center ice. 3 minutes, 10 seconds in the third period. Gloucester Catholic leads by 1. Here comes Doohan. Doesn't go. Second chance. Kaladze. Motzkin has it. The parade continues. Keslick in the middle of it from the face-off circle. Gathers it. Can't hold on to it cleanly. After a couple of swipes by Guerra. Back to Doohan. They'll have to reset here. Tipped up. Goes back around. Waiting for it and a save. Whew. Wow. There really isn't a lot to describe what we've seen. This has been a fantastic game, and there's those Gordon National standings we were talking about. Pope John has the best overall record at 7-2-3. Gloucester Catholic has the worst overall record at 3-8. Seton Hall Prep is up there at 7-6. Bergen Catholic at 7-5. St. Peter's Prep at 4-8 in the fourth spot. But that's what makes this game so special. Roman Motzkin will take the face-off instead of Chad Niederman. And again, with this game being so close, so late. Oh, he scored! Oh my goodness, a Fansel Kislick by the skin of his teeth finds the upper right corner. Get yourself a candle because he just lit the lamp. 4-2. A Fansel Kislick, his second goal of the game. And that might be a bookend one right there. He scored the first for GC 42 seconds in, and it's now 4-2 with 2.5 minutes left. Wow. That was a crafty goal, almost running parallel to to Canetta. As Gloucester Catholic with, I can't stress how much insurance that provides for the Rams over the top team by overall record and the number 2 team by divisional record in the Gordon National. As they put up a 9-2 win over Notre Dame on Thursday. At last ranking, Pope John was number 11 in the state. And Gloucester Catholic has played many teams in the top 5 and top 10 this year. So they have shown that they can compete with the best. But this would be huge. A minute 45. But knowing the results of this season, I don't want to hold my breath because here comes Pope John. Right side, doesn't go. Gets sent around. Back to Perillo, shot, score! A bottle shot. Brings this one back within 1 with 90 seconds. As Nicholas Coltrella, Nicholas Colatrella, his 8th goal of the year. And Gloucester Catholic will be granted their timeout on the ice. Wow. And as soon as Gloucester Catholic was starting to feel the change in the air, we've got a replay here. Well, I think that's one way to put it. But 4-3, Gloucester Catholic leads Pope John. But Pope John closing the gap here as Gloucester Catholic, I mean, you could see Mike Geary, just kind of incensed with his team's performance. Yeah, I mean, listen, there was no way I could have talked over that. That was a Mighty Ducks speech if I've ever seen one. But Mike Geary, again, just furious with that goal from Nicholas Colatrella. But here's my one thing. The arena went dead silent when Mike Geary was talking to his guys. I feel like this is going to spark Pope John a little bit here. Gloucester Catholic calls the timeout again with a minute and 30 seconds left in the third period. Gloucester Catholic now is going to have to worry about clock management. The insurance goal would be nice, but they have to worry about winning this game. As Pope John has made it close, Pope John can't afford to make a mistake. They have to play at their A game, and Gloucester Catholic has to play at their A game for the next minute and 5 seconds. Another big check. Pope John will keep this play alive as the goalie brought it down. This one continues to go. We've got a delayed penalty coming. It's going to be against the Rams. Pope John's going to leave the net. Canetta's going to leave the net. No, it's going to be against Pope John. They're going to go for the empty net goal, and it scores from way downtown. We thought we would see something happen there, Pope John. But we do have something here. The goal by Gloucester Catholic, an empty netter, makes it 5-3. We'll have to see who got that goal, who got the last contact, as that empty netter traversed about 3/4 of the ice. 5-3. How about it? And Pope John, barring a miracle, looks like they could be stunned on the road. Niederman has this one. They have won or tied their last 5 matches. Wins over GC, Xavier, and Seton Hall Prep. A tie versus Northern Highlands, and a 9-2 win over Notre Dame. Here comes a shot. That'll get saved. Gloucester Catholic's just going to have to try to clear. 13 seconds left. Here comes Buranov for a dagger. Couldn't get anything off there. We've got a whistle and we've got a shove. Buranov getting lit up here. He got wrapped around by the stick there by Perillo, but Gloucester Catholic's going to have to keep the emotions here. I mean, there's 10 seconds, but you cannot afford to get yourself in an emotional mistake as Buranov, he's pointing at the scoreboard. Oh, boy. I think that's the one time where, yeah, I can let that one slide because the Rams are up 5-3. He pointed at the scoreboard as it's a 2-goal lead. Pope John emptied the net, and Motzkin looked like he had the last touch. As in a back-and-forth game, The Rams, they didn't really run away with it, but we've got 10 seconds left. So Pope John will have a power play for the last 10 seconds of this one. The penalties against Burinov. This one gets tipped up. Gloucester Catholic's just going to flick it off the boards. They're going to let this one go. And the Gloucester Catholic Rams, how about it? What an upset. The number 2 team in the Gordon National Division picks up a loss to the 3-8 Gloucester Catholic Rams. As a contentious game from start to finish, the Rams pick up their biggest upset of the year in a big, big win. 2 goals from Afanzel Kislik. He is easily your player of the game. There were some jabs thrown. There was some unsportsmanlike conduct, but at the end of the day, Gloucester Catholic just took down the 7-2-3 Pope John Lions. The best team by overall record in the Gordon National goes down to the Rams. I mean, wow. I went into this game thinking that Pope John was going to win, to be quite honest with you. Didn't really know how that was going to go. But the Rams scored 42 seconds in, and that set the pace for the rest of the night as Afanzel Kislik picked up the first goal, and he picked up a huge insurance goal with 4 minutes left, and then the empty net put it away. And the Rams improved to 4-8 to tie for 4th in the division at this point with St. Peter's Prep. Now for Gloucester Catholic, they still have Haverford on Monday, so they'll be off for the next 6 days. But then they play Marlborough and then Princeton Day. So they've got one more conference game. This is their last division game. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. What a day it was for Gloucester Catholic. Mike Geary, we talked about him being incensed with his team with a minute left. Pope John scored. They made it 4-3. And from there, I mean, again, I was worried that goal being heard by everyone in this arena was going to give Pope John a spark. But it did not. And the Rams hung on as some Pope John players and GC players will gather in the circle, as they always do. This is always a great gesture of sportsmanship. As the Rams take down the Pope John Lions 5-3. What a game it was. Mike Geary, again, he wasn't too thrilled with his players and his performance about 5 minutes ago. But I'm sure that a lot of it is forgotten and a lot of it is forgiven now, with the Rams beating Pope John for the first time since December of 2022. The Rams improve to 3-8, and the Lions fall to 7-3-3. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti. My producer, David Cohen of Rowan University. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you in just about 3 hours for coverage actually just about 2 hours for coverage between Audubon and Haddon Township. Final score, Gloucester Catholic 5, Pope John 3. Have a good one, folks.